Here goes 7 tips that you didn't know you need. Starting off with tip number 1, sampler threshold. So we're gonna start off by going to our menu, go to our sampler. So I have my iPhone pulled up. I wanna sample this track in. So usually you will go to ARM, and then once you press play, it should just start recording. So let's just press play. Let me turn on my input. As you can see, nothing's happening and it's still saying waiting for signal. So you're probably thinking in your head like, why is it not working? The only reason why it's not working is because your threshold is too high. Let's look at the levels of the sound coming in. The threshold is not even hitting the signal, which is around -9. So what you want to do is bring your threshold down. So when now I play it, it's going to start recording. And then you can just save it, edit it, and when you edit, now it starts at the starting point, so you don't have to like readjust anything. I mean, you probably got to readjust the end, but that's easy fix. Tip number 2, looping with track sequence. So as you can see, the amount of bars in this sequence is 16. I haven't yet to do my drums, but when you're finger drumming, like especially if you're a beginner, or even if you're just lazy and don't want to do the whole 16 bar loop of finger drumming, a quicker way, especially when you know that you're only going to do like a 4 or 2 bar loop of your drum pattern, is to go to sequence and change it to how many bars. So you just got to understand that 4 beats go into a bar if you're in 4/4, and if you're in a different time signature, just use the top number. Like if it's a 3/4, then you know that it's going to be 6 for 2 bars. So since we're in 4/4, I'm just gonna make a 2 bar loop, and this is how it will look. You can see the yellow lines are dividing it, and it's gonna loop it for the whole 16. So this is a very fast way to just get out your drum patterns or melodies.
I just need some loving here. Just give it to me right now, yeah. I just need some loving here. Just give it to me right now, yeah. To me right.
So this is very good. I like to do this a lot. You could always extend it later on as well. Let's say I wanted to do about a 4 bars. So, you know, 4 times 4, 16. And then that way you can still stretch it out and continue from there if you wanted to. Tip number 3, hidden effects. So if you want your drums to hit harder, or any of your samples, you just want to add a bit more effects to it rather than just the original. So already I have effects on the drum program, and you can see right here there's only 4 slots. Let's say you wanted some more. So you would go to menu, pad 14, and then you will go to effects. Now you have 4 more that you can use. But that's not the tip that I wanted to show you, but just to show you that you can have more inserts. So that's just a quick bonus tip. But there's a little dot right here that you may not see, and that's why I say it's hidden. You click it again, now you have all these different plugins that you can use. You could click in and you can see you got tube drive, soft clipper, hard clipper, low pass, high pass, rectifier. You could just mess around with all of these. What I like to do is use the soft clipper to make my drums hit harder. So hear how the kick sound? Yeah, you can already hear. Just like that, you can make your drums hit hard. So I'm just going to turn it up a bit. Turn up my snare. Turn on my hi-hat. And you can even use some bit crush. Add some texture to your sound. And let's hear how it sounds.
I just need some loving here. Just give it to me right now, yeah. I just need some loving here. Just give it to me right now, yeah.
So yeah, this is definitely a game changer when you just want like hard hitting drums like straight off the back without doing too much. Now tip number 4, editing your samples in sample edit mode. So if I go to my chops, usually after you chop it from your sample edit mode, you only really try to access it from up here and mess around with your chops. But let's say like the screen is too small for you, or you want to be able to see like the cursor go. You can't really see that, especially with the screen being this small. But you don't have to be on this screen. You can actually still work from your sample edit mode just by going to Shift Sample Edit, which is your mute, and go to your program. Now when you go to your program, you're able to just hit the pads and adjust them just like the other screen. You can still change the tuning. You can still change the end. And this is just a lot easier. You can see the cursor. You can reassign things. Even if you want to adjust something on this screen. So let's say I wanted to reverse this pad 7. Now I can still have that. So you can switch back and forth if you want to mess around with the reverse and the semitone and the work. Now tip number 5, assigning your pads using pad parameters. So usually I have the whole sample like right here, like you see. Yeah, you could go to trim and go to BPM chops and start chopping it up this way. But what I like to do sometimes is just to have the whole chop, and especially when I want to get out like this little 1 beat or 1 bar loops, you know, I like to just stay on the screen and just pick them out. So let's just hear it. So that 1 bar that I like, I could just assign that. Now it's going to go to the program that you're on or the programs that you have available. So I'm just going to go to program 2 and put it on pad 5. Now look what happens when I have it on non-destructive slices. So I'm going to press do it. Go to main, and I'm just gonna switch this to the program 2. So that's cool, but now look what happens when I wanna grab another chop. So let's say I wanna grab this and then assign that to pad 6. So it sounds like this. So let's go to our main and hit pad 5. Now pad 6 and pad 5 are the same. Now that's not what you want because it just override pad 5. So we're just going to undo that. So now we're going to assign it again. Make sure it's on pad 5 and go to pad parameters. Press do it. Go to our main. All right, so that's good. Now when we go for a different chop this time, let me find a section. Yeah. Just a quick chop, and then assign it, make sure it's on pad parameters, put it on pad 6, do it, go to main, hit pad 5, hit pad 6. You want to have it on pad parameters so they don't override each other, and this is just a good way when you're looking at your whole sample as a whole and you just want to just grab like these little short parts and then just assign it. Now tip number 6, layering your sound. So what I'm gonna do is pull up a plugin and pull up my favorite plugins, presets. So I got this Melodies Octave from Fabric XL. Now, just a bonus tip, if you don't know how to save your favorite presets, just go to your plugin, pick out the sound that you like, then go to your favorites, then hold down into the box, and then you're able to just save your sounds this way, and you can save up to 16 pages. So it's a lot that you can save. And let's say you wanted to delete it or override it with another sound, just hold down onto it and you can press clear or overwrite. I'm gonna clear it since I already have it. Go back to the main screen and we're just gonna make a quick melody. I'm gonna go to, let's go to D minor, go to our notes, go up an octave, and let's just get something out. Let's just add like some lower notes, and I can easily do that just by hitting the banks at the top. So bank B is going to be a lower octave now. And then I just want to add like some higher notes, so I could go to bank D. That's pretty high. Let's go to C. So now that we have our melody, now we can start layering it with different sounds. Yeah, you could just go to track 2, but what I like to do is just go to track 1, the program, and just duplicate it to track. So now I could keep it like to the same plugin, because sometimes if your default plugin is something else, but you still want to use like the one that you was originally on, then it's just a hassle to get back to it. And this is just a quicker way just to duplicate your program, and then it will automatically go to the second track. So now I can just go to some strings. Attack strings should sound good. So we want to go to track 1, go to this eye icon, go to our MIDI, and go send to track 2. So we're like sending that MIDI to track 2 so that it can be layered. So now you're gonna hear some strings. And we could just keep adding more. So it works like a chain. If I wanna layer my third track, what I would have to do is go to track 2. I would just duplicate the program once again. And let's just change this out for like some bells or whatever. Go back to track 2 now, because like I said, it works like a chain. You wanna attach that to the track 3 and so on and so forth. So if you want another track, go back to track 3 and assign it to track 4. Now, you could also still go into your plugin and still add effects, turn down some of the sounds. Now, for the last tip, this is just how to create chords, but also at the same time making you understand that there is certain shapes that you can recognize when you're making these chords, because when you're playing an instrument like piano or guitar, you usually have like that same kind of fingering to make the same chord, and you could do the same thing on an MPC. So I'll show you what I mean. Go to Shift 16 levels to pull up Pad Perform. We're on D minor. Each note within the scale can play its own chord. And usually if you want to play a triad, if you don't know what a triad is, it's 3 notes together that makes a triad. And the way you will make a triad is by skipping every other note in the scale. So we start off with our first note, which is D. So we skip another note in the scale, and since we already in notes, it's going to make it a lot easier to see that. And then we just go to F. And then we skip another note and go to A. So that's 3 notes that makes a triad, and now you have your D minor. And then if you go to E, skip a note, and then skip a note again, this gives you your E diminished chord. And then you do the same. Go to F, skip G, go to A, skip C, get your F major chord. And the reason why it's good to do it this way rather than going to your chords, and you can see that it shows 1, 3, 5. Now that's cool, like it will still play all the chords. But let's say you wanted to play some 7 chords. Now you gotta adjust this to a 7 chord. And you know, it could get kind of sloppy when all you have to do, if you wanna make a 7 chord, just add the 4th note. But you keep the same formula by skipping the notes. So if we're gonna play D minor 7, we're gonna play our first 3, and then we skip this note, and then we hit the C. That is your D minor 7. And then if you want a D minor 9, then you can skip D and then go to your E. And then you could do your 11. And you can omit the 9. So this is just a lot easier, and then the more you do it, you start to see certain patterns. Like this is always gonna be like your first chord right here. Then your second chord. And then so on and so forth. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Just a quick video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and share with your other producer friends. And if you like more tips like this, you can watch this video over here. Also check out my new ebook with all my YouTube shorts combined. And you can just have it at your disposal real quick if you need to just search something on your phone. So the links will be in the description, and thank you for watching.